What's up, guys? Welcome to A Fresh Breath of MMA. My name's Robbie.
And I'm Mario.
And this is our first time doing a podcast. We're two best friends and we love UFC. And we're going to do a quick prediction video of what's going to happen Saturday, May 9th for UFC 249.
Yeah, let's get to it, man.
I'm super excited, dude.
It's a fresh card.
How long has it been since? I want to say like 8 weeks since the last
6 weeks.
It's been
7 weeks.
It's been a while, bro. I don't know. I mean, anything they would have put up is going to be entertaining, just because there's no NBA, no MLB, no NFL, no anything.
There's nothing, dude.
Yeah, so this is going to be fun to watch. Fucking cards stacked all the way down to the early prelims with Vicente Luque and Nico Price. That's going to be a great fight for both of them. But we can shoot up a little bit, at least. What do you think? You want to start from the top or the bottom?
Let's go from the bottom. Let's go from the prelims.
All right.
Man.
Early prelims starting Uriah Hall and Jacare. That's going to be a beast of a fight, man.
When was the last time Uriah Hall fought?
Uriah Hall, I want to say his last fight was actually, it might have been against Paulo Costa. That's at least the last one I remember. And that was a while ago.
That was 2 years ago?
That was before Paulo fought Yoel.
I think it was about 2 years ago, man.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago.
And Uriah Hall put up a good fight, actually, but Paulo's just so aggressive.
Hall's a beast.
Yeah, and
he's a beast, man.
He ran through him a little bit towards the end of that. He dropped him with punches, I believe. But this is a good fight for him because Jacare's getting kind of old, bro.
So is Uriah.
Uriah Hall is too.
Yeah.
But
But who do you think has this fight?
I want Uriah Hall to win, just because I still have him in my head as the guy that, spinning heel kicked Adam Sella in The Ultimate Fighter. And quick little bit, I've actually met Adam Sella.
No shit.
Yeah,
Really?
because he fought for Shamrock at River City Casino. So when I was working there, I got to meet him. He's all right.
He's all right. He's whatever.
He was okay. But yeah, I'd love to see Uriah Hall go out and put a performance and maybe, start working away to his title. I don't think he'll ever win the title. I don't think he'll be a top 5 guy, but it's a start if he can beat a name like Jacare.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
and Jacare's been up and down, with his fights. He'll win some, he'll lose some. I don't see him fighting for the title anymore, especially towards the end of his career now.
Right.
So
So
I'm pulling for Uriah. What about you?
Uriah.
You got Uriah Hall?
Hall,
All right,
yeah.
we can agree on that one. After that, we got Carla Esparza versus Michelle Waterson.
Karate Hottie, baby.
Karate Hattie. I know
Karate
you want
Hattie.
her to win. She's good. I love her personality.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes, 100%, man.
Yeah. She's laughing all the time. She's smiling. She goes in there and she has fun. And that's the best part about her, I think. Carla Esparza, haven't really followed her much.
Her last fight, I believe she lost, if I remember correctly.
Probably, honestly. I mean,
I believe she lost. I believe it was the second round, either submission or knockout.
okay.
I can't remember who did it, but that's what I believe. Now, hey guys, if I'm wrong, please let us know.
Yeah, I mean, we're far from John Anik and Joe Rogan, and I don't get paid to memorize all of this stuff, but we're doing our best here as big fans of the company. But I love Michelle. I want her to win. She put up a good fight against Joanna, and went all the way to decision. She lost, but that showed a lot of heart.
Right, but she was also fighting Joanna.
Yeah, exactly.
See the fight she put up against what's her name?
Zhang.
Zhang Li.
Yeah. That was
that was a fight of the year.
How can you expect Michelle Waterson to beat the Joanna that showed up that day?
You can't.
But interesting thing I'd like to bring up. I would love to see if Michelle can beat Carla in this. Michelle versus Thug Rose would be a good fight, and maybe winner of that can go and fight either Zhang Weili or Joanna again.
Yeah, but I see a rematch between Joanna.
Yeah, it's hard not to. After the fight that they had, it is hard not to.
Right.
But yeah, that would definitely be great. Michelle Waterson on that one, in my opinion.
Michelle,
you as well.
for sure.
I would not be. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if it goes to decision. It's 3 rounds.
I'm saying Second round.
Second round?
Second round.
Finish? All right.
Finish. Michelle. Let's get it.
I'll give you that
Let's
one.
get it.
I'll
Second
give you
round.
that one. Okay.
Second round.
After that, we're jumping big to the heavyweight boys. Fabricio Verdum, Alexei Olenek. Now, we kind of disagree on this one a little bit. I asked you, and you said you got Alexei.
Dude, I think Alexei got it.
The 42
The 42-year-old.
All right. I mean,
You can never count out the old man power.
the old man power.
The old man power. You can never count it out.
Yeah, I like him. I've been a fan of Fabricio since he was the heavyweight champ.
When he lost to Stipe.
Yeah, and he put up a decent fight on that. I think he hurt Stipe before he got dropped.
Yeah, but Stipe, dude.
It's Stipe.
It's
Yeah,
Stipe.
I understand. Mario's Croatian, for those of you. We didn't really go over that, but Mario's Croatian, so he's gonna ride Stipe's dick forever. Don't worry.
Ever.
That's a banger of a fight. They placed that perfectly right under the main event for the prelims, but you want Alexei to win that. I want Fabricio to win that.
I got Alexei decision.
Yeah.
Decision.
They're
Alexei.
heavyweights, bro.
I'm going decision.
Oh,
3 rounds. They can last 3 rounds.
They're
Come
gonna
on now.
gas out at 1.5, and then they're just gonna hug each other for the remainder of the fight.
So it matters who does what in the first
All right.
minute and a half.
Who gets the better of the exchanges in the first round is how we're gonna decide who wins that fight. I hope all of you are gonna be watching Saturday night. We're definitely gonna be watching it. We're probably gonna pay for it. Not that we don't always pay for it, but we're probably gonna pay for it.
For sure paying for it.
For sure, we always do. But just because we don't want to miss anything. Yeah. So.
And the headliners for the prelims, we have Anthony Pettis and Cowboy Cerrone.
This is interesting, bro.
Both coming off losses.
Both coming off losses. Anthony broke his hand in his last fight against Tony Ferguson.
Did he?
Yeah. That's how the fight. That's how the fight stopped. After I want to say the second round, and I not to get off track of this, but I saw a very interesting thing that Anthony Pettis was commenting about Tony Ferguson. We'll get more into it when we talk about the main event of the fight card. But a big thing that people say is, have we ever seen Tony Ferguson hurt, or does he just play possum and it kind of reels you in? So the reason Anthony said that was, Anthony said, I dropped Tony Ferguson. He started doing his somersaults or whatever weird shit that Tony normally does. He goes, but I broke my hand on his head, and then while I was attacking him, he recuperated. And then during the break of the round is when he couldn't finish anymore because his hand was broken. So he's coming off the injury and his loss. We saw what the fuck happened to Cowboy.
Yeah, but Cowboy came out and said he wasn't ready for that fight.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't, like, he wasn't mentally there.
How do you feel about that? That he would come out and say that?
It's respect. Like,
yeah.
Like, I respect the man. Like, how can you not respect the man who's got destroyed by shoulders?
Yeah. In what, 40 seconds?
40 seconds.
Yeah, it's very rare that fighters will be that open about, I'm scared shitless to go out there, I have these nerves. Everyone gets nerves, but to that extent. And to say Cowboy didn't show up, Donald did, like, maybe Cowboy was a little in over his head on that.
Maybe.
I'm glad he took the fight. It's a big payday for him. If anyone who thought Cowboy was going to win that fight probably was a little far-fetched in my opinion, but Anthony and him is a good fight. I mean, they're going to stay standing the entire time, of course. I don't know. Who do you think?
I gotta go with Anthony, dude.
I honestly think Anthony's going to win.
I love Cowboy to death, but Anthony.
Yeah,
Anthony. He hasn't shown up in
a little
the last
while,
3-4 fights.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think the last time was when he knocked out Stephen Thompson, Wonder Boy. It was that weird like Superman thing and clipped him and knocked him out.
The Superman punch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
that was right before he fought Nate. No. Yeah, right before he fought
and
Nate.
he lost to him too.
Yeah, he lost to Nate.
Yeah. So Anthony's coming up, but I mean, ever since Anthony lost the belt, he's been up and down, which works perfectly with Cowboy because Cowboy will go on his weird random 3-win streak, and then they throw him on against a top 5 competitor, and then he loses. And I love Cowboy to death, but unfortunately, I think he's always gonna be that mid-card guy.
Oh,
you know?
for sure.
I mean,
but fans show up.
Of course,
people show up to watch him.
Mm-hmm.
He puts on a fight.
Yeah.
Minus The Conor fight.
The Conor fight, yeah.
That's in the past. We're talking about right now.
Exactly.
I think Pettis is going to beat Donald, and I think Donald has maybe 2-3 fights left in him, man.
Really?
2-3 fights.
He'll have 2-3 fights for the next week. That's how often Donald's fighting. But yeah, I definitely think Anthony's going to come out win. I believe that's still a 3-round fight. I'll give Anthony a 3rd round stoppage.
3rd round stoppage.
3rd round stoppage. I think 2 will be too soon, but after the first 2 rounds, he's going to wear him down, and 3rd round he's going to finish him.
So we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Like if we have Cowboy who shows up against Conor, this will be a 2nd round stoppage.
It'll be very early.
This will be a 2nd round stoppage for Pettis.
I can.
If he shows up as he's shown up before,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna go to decision.
I could see that happening too.
I feel like it's gonna be either a stoppage or decision.
Yeah.
Like,
There's not going to be much of a submission going on. Not that they don't have a ground game, but these guys are going to
Cowboy has a ground game that he doesn't use.
They're going to keep this standing for sure.
Oh yeah, they'll throw up a fight.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that one just as much as honestly like that could be higher on the fight card, but I understand they want to headline the prelims pretty crazy, and that's a good fight to finish up the prelims right before they go into the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So going into the pay-per-view, we got Greg Hardy versus, and I could be saying this wrong, but Yorgan de Castro. Now I'm not too familiar with the heavyweights besides Stipe, DC, and Francis and Jairzinho. But the heavyweights have always, in my opinion at least, been there's those top few guys, and that's all the heavyweights got, unfortunately. The heavyweights have been, for years now, since maybe the Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir days, has been built off
Top 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Top 5, and then one of them drops and a new guy pops out.
And that new guy will like skyrocket through everyone, and then maybe they can beat the champ, maybe they can't. And I think that's why Stipe is known on paper as one of the best heavyweights for defending 3 times. And that's not that impressive.
But he has the most defense.
Yeah.
In heavyweight history.
It's impressive because it changes so much, but
that's very true.
You know, that's no John Jones defending as many times as he has, or Anderson Silva, and they just flip around so much in the heavyweight division.
That's true, but that keeps it entertaining, though.
It does.
Keeps it entertaining. But let's go back to Greg Hardy, and I don't know how to say his name.
Yorgan de Castro. I'm hoping we're saying that right.
I'll even attempt it.
So Greg Hardy's coming off that loss that he had. He, I believe, came in on short notice.
He did.
And he fought. I'm not going to remember because I always confuse him with the light heavyweight, with Volkan Ozdemir.
Yeah, I don't remember who he fought, but he lost. Was it?
I want to say it went to decision.
I thought he got knocked out.
Did he? He might have gotten TKO'd. I don't know.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments because there's probably a lot of stuff you guys are going to correct us on.
Oh, for sure. So who do you got in that?
I'll give it to Yorgan because I've seen his highlights, and I believe his fight against Tai Tuivasa, you know him?
Yeah.
With all them leg tattoos. It was either him or no, and I believe Yorgan has similar tattoos, and he did a typical Mark Hunt walk-off knockout. Tai Tuivasa was running in. He cracked him with whatever left or right hand that he dropped him, hit the floor, and he just walked off. I already know I knocked him out. That's all that was. I want to give it to him. Greg Hardy's a good athlete. His first 2-3 fights where he fought, I think it was like a Maurice Green or something. These guys that they're just entering the UFC. They were good startup fights for Greg.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Greg can win this one, though.
You think so?
I feel like it's going to be a first within 3 minutes knockout.
I wouldn't be surprised on either end, but Greg Hardy, he's been improving. I'll give him that.
Oh, for sure.
We watched every fight since he came in, from that one where he had like the illegal strike, the knee on the ground or whatever. Yeah. He's improving, and I think he jumped a little too quick on his last fight, and that's why he lost. Because that guy was a good striker.
Yeah.
But this will be a good matchup for him, and
hopefully he doesn't use his inhaler this fight.
Yeah, I know. That was hilarious. So you got Greg Hardy?
I got Greg Hardy.
Just to make it interesting, I'll take Yorgan de Castro. That's a good fight to start it off. And honestly, this whole main card could possibly not go to decision on any of them. I hope. That'd be a fast night, And
What a great night.
That'd be exciting.
Great night.
We watched it together, and I'm sure you guys saw it too. What was it? Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero. And then that was the same night as, just standing around the whole time. Weili Zhang and Joanna fought.
And fight of the year.
Fight of
the year. Candidate, for sure.
For sure. And then that night we were watching, at least in our time here, we're in St. Louis, Missouri, it was probably close to 1 a.m. by the time the fights ended, maybe just after. And normally the fights are supposed to end by like midnight. That's how many decisions there were.
Or late round knockouts.
Yeah, and this is definitely not going to be like that in my opinion. Like you said, Greg Hardy and DeCastro, first round. I'll agree with you on that prediction. Right after that, we got crazy fucking Jeremy Stephens
and Calvin Kattar.
That's going to be an interesting fight. Both fighters have lost to Zabit. Jeremy Stephens put up a pretty good fight against Zabit. Calvin also, I believe he went to decision with him. And it's going to be interesting to see. Jeremy's got his knockout power. He's coming off a lot of losses, though. He lost to Yair Rodriguez after the weird eye poke thing.
With the 7-second stoppage.
7-second stoppage.
Contest.
Yeah. And then they had their rematch, and it was a good fucking fight.
Didn't it go to decision, or did it?
Yeah, and I believe Yair won the decision, but it was the whole time was just a slugfest.
It was, because if it was a 5-round fight, I feel like Jeremy would have won that fight, man.
Yeah.
I feel like Jeremy would have won.
But unfortunately it wasn't. But Jeremy, you can never count Jeremy Stephens out. I mean, he's worked his way to the top, and then he'll lose a little bit. Like, he lost against Jose Aldo on like that body strike and stuff. I actually watched Jeremy Stephens live when they fought in St. Louis. He fought Superboy Dohoi Choi or something like that. And the whole time, Superboy was coming in with his hype because he could take a punch like crazy and he had good stand-up, and Jeremy knocked him the fuck out. So, I mean, he's always going to be a little bit of a parody because of the who the fuck is that guy? But I really like that fight.
Yeah, and it looks like Vegas has Jeremy plus 200.
So I'm not too... So...
No, they have Jeremy losing.
They got Jeremy losing this fight?
They have Jeremy losing this fight.
That's interesting. And Calvin Kattar's good, don't get me wrong, but to have it... I believe it could maybe be a little bit closer than that, honestly.
Could be, but it looks like Vegas has him losing. I feel like Jeremy can win this, though.
I think he could, too. Honestly, I think
we're on the same page.
Yeah,
here.
I'll call Jeremy on this one.
Yeah, Jeremy, for sure.
Knockout?
Decision. Decision.
Okay, maybe.
Decision.
They just stand up the whole time, but it'll be a good stand-up fight. I don't see either of them taking it to the ground. Probably.
Does Kelvin wrestle at all? Do you know?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stunt, guys. We love watching, but some of these dudes we're just not super knowledgeable on. But we're doing our best. Try to stay with us.
All right. So the next fight we have Francis Ngannou and Rosenstrike.
That's good.
Both in a 3-fight win streak right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
All right.
Both are 3-fight win streaks.
So Francis hasn't lost since Stipe or
No.
DC, I guess.
Since Derek Lewis.
He won that fight, right?
No, he lost that fight.
He lost against Derek Lewis?
Yeah, he lost 2 in a row.
Are you sure?
Pretty
sure. That was a bullshit ass fight, so they both lost in my opinion.
No, we lost.
Yeah, we
lost.
As the fans, we lost.
But I'm pretty sure Derek Lewis
beat him
and then
Derek he fought DC for the belt, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, they both have huge knockout power. Everyone knows the knockout when Ngannou knocked out Alistair Overeem, snapped his head into space. Jairzinho's known for it as well, but I don't think his knockout's as good as Francis.
I don't think it is, but take Francis out on the ground, you win the fight.
Is Jairzinho going to do that?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Exactly. But he could.
Yeah.
He could. If you watch Stipe's not a ground fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
And Stipe took Francis down and...
But do you think Francis has been training his wrestling since then?
Oh, I guarantee you he has.
But it's still not enough.
I don't think it's like they all train it, but I don't think he's
not at a level where he's going to be able to
defend fully.
Yeah, and scramble and get back to his feet where he's more comfortable.
And if he does, he's going to use up all his energy.
Very true.
You know?
Hopefully he's working on his cardio since what happened last time.
A dude that big, you can't really work on that cardio, man.
He's like 250 with a 6-pack. and he's like the body
zero body fat.
Exactly. Like I would kill to look like him. And he was like he worked in sand mines or something back in Cameroon.
Something, yeah.
I need to start doing that, and maybe I can look like that.
We don't have sand mines here in St. Louis, man.
Yeah,
we don't have those here.
Well, if we did.
So looks like Vegas has Francis winning the fight with a minus 270.
All right. Jairzinho's got a plus 210. I can agree on that one.
Yeah.
I think Francis is going to win this fight, honestly. I think Jairzinho, back to the heavyweight conversation that we had, Jairzinho's moved up the rankings in the heavyweight. I mean, he knocked out Andrei Arlovsky.
But he has a glass jaw.
Yeah.
He's not prime. Like, when he came in.
He's not the pit bull he used to be.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then he had another fight with a gentleman, and I don't know the guy's name. Maybe you can tell us in the comments. But he dropped that guy, if you've seen it, on like the weirdest jab. The fight started, he came up and just kind of tapped him, the guy fell. He knocked him out once he got on top of him, but to drop him in the first place was super weird. I think Jairzinho's knockout power might be a little bit overrated. At least if you're comparing it to Francis.
Yeah, I mean, Francis hasn't been knocked out.
Yeah, exactly.
That I know of.
No, yeah, I don't think he has been either. I don't see Jairzinho knocking out Francis, but I can definitely see Francis knocking out Jairzinho.
For sure.
So I'll agree with Vegas on this. I wouldn't actually bet. I'm not much of a betting man.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, well, yeah, you might put a couple bucks on it, but you know from us watching all these fights together, whoever I end up predicting, for some reason, the gods of MMA flip it, and I'm always wrong.
Always.
All the time.
Unless we agree, then it's like on par.
Which is really weird that we're even doing a podcast on predictions right now, because my predictions are always fucking wrong.
It's okay. If I win, I win, right?
If you win, you win. And that's what's important right now. That's a fresh breath of MMA for you. So.
All right, now going up to the co-main event, we have Henry Cejudo and Dominic Cruz.
I love this fight. I'm a big fan of Dominic Cruz. I'm really happy that he's finally back. He's been battling his like knee injuries or whatever
since he lost to Cody, right?
Since he lost to Cody, and I believe a little bit even before that. Who was this supposed to be? It was supposed to be Jose Aldo.
It was.
And then because of the travel ban and stuff, he had to drop out because he can't fly to the U.S. for the fight. Dominic Cruz is taking
this is going to be a good fight, though. This is going to be a great fight. We have a double champ.
Yeah.
Or triple champ, as he proclaims.
Did you know Henry Cejudo won a gold medal in the Olympics?
I did not.
Little known fact. He doesn't like to talk about it much.
Is that the thing he wears?
That's the thing he wears. He bites. Yeah. He's the Kurt Angle in UFC. He doesn't really like to talk about it much, but yeah, he's a triple champ because of that.
But yeah, it looks like Vegas has Henry winning this minus 235. I kind of hope Vegas is wrong, man.
I definitely hope Vegas is wrong.
I hope Dominic Cruz gets a W, man. I really hope Dominic Cruz gets a W.
Yeah, I respect Henry, especially when he beat Mighty Mouse, and we watched that fight together as well down at Ballpark, and I was very surprised that he was able to do that.
Did he beat him in decision?
Yeah, he beat him by decision, and there's the argument that Mighty Mouse is not washed up, but he was tired of it. Maybe he'd been champion for so long, he immediately left and went to ONE FC.
He got traded to ONE FC
for Ben Askren. How worthy was that trade?
At the time, it was a great trade.
Yeah, at the time,
but you saw what happened.
Yeah,
we both saw what happened.
I respect Henry. I mean, especially when he beat T.J. Dillashaw, that was impressive. He beat Marlon Moraes. I was also at that fight when I went to Chicago, and I had Marlon Moraes winning that. And he won the first round and then just gassed out, which was embarrassing enough. And I believe Henry fought that fight with some form of leg injuries because he got wheelchaired out or he was limping out or whatever. I respect Henry Cejudo.
I'm just tired of him, man. I'm just tired of him.
Are you tired of the cringe? I'm very tired of the cringe. The gimmick is just getting old.
It is.
Some gimmicks work really well. You know, Jorge Masvidal's resurrection gimmick. Chael Sonnen being the bad guy. I know you love Chael.
Oh, I love Chael.
You love Chael's bad guy. Henry Cejudo's cringe gimmick is cringy, and it's not enjoyable. It's not going to make people pay to see him lose. He's doing his best for one of the small guys, and I can respect that.
He is. I mean, he kept the
The 25? Or
25 pound?
The flyweight.
Flyweight. Yeah, he kept that alive.
Yeah, as long as he could. But then what did he do? He jumped ship.
He did.
He went to Bantam.
But it's still there. It's still there. Right?
Yeah.
Grant, they don't have a champ right now.
Yeah, that was a weird little
They don't have a
the
champ.
Benavidez fight thing, but I mean, if he loses this, does he go back down? We haven't talked about that.
He might. He might. I mean, reclaim that title.
Yeah, he might as well. Because if he loses to Dom, yeah, I mean they could have a rematch, but or just go back to where you're comfortable and you know you're going to beat all the guys at 125. Just take your belt back, be comfortable until UFC eliminates that division, and then come back up and try. But it strikes up a good conversation. If Dominic Cruz beats Henry Cejudo, we're not that far off from TJ coming back from a suspension.
I think he's coming back this year.
So TJ Dillashaw and Dominic Cruz, they fought once. Very, very close fight that Dominic Cruz won. Very, very close. And some people might argue that TJ won that fight. I watched it. I didn't watch it with a close enough eye to score it like sometimes I would.
Right.
But I'm okay with Dominic winning that fight. But I'd love to see them have a rematch too.
I feel like Dominic could beat him again.
I believe it. I don't want to call it a fluke when Cody Garbrandt beat him.
Dude, I love Cody though.
I love Cody Garbrandt.
Especially with the little dancing moves he did.
Yeah. It was just... And I've seen in interviews, Dominic said, at some point after being champion for 7 years or whatever he was, there's so much footage on me. So many guys in Cody Garbrandt's crew. So Uriah Faber fought Dominic twice, I believe. TJ Dillashaw fought him. And Cody fought him. They learned so much that Cody was able to pull it off. Can Cody do it again?
I think he could. If he's healthy.
If he's healthy and
he puts his fucking guard up.
If he learns to keep his hands up. Yeah, because...
He could do it.
I can see that happening. Dominic Cruz winning this fight is the most exciting thing, I believe, for the bantamweights right now. Because, I mean, with Henry, him and TJ fighting again, that'd be exciting, but there's still the whole weight cut thing because TJ went to 125 for their fight, and he was on the EPO. Who knows? I just don't like Henry. I'm sorry.
See, I like Henry more than TJ. Like, I'm not a big fan of Dillashaw at all.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
I understand.
But then again, I'm a bigger fan of Cody.
Of course, yeah.
So, like, I'm being biased here.
I like Cody Garbrandt. That's cool. So, prediction, I think Vegas is wrong.
I agree with you.
I'd love to see Dominic Cruz win this. I think it'll be unanimous decision, Dominic Cruz. I don't see either of them finishing this fight.
Okay. And to the fight we were all waiting for.
We are all waiting for this.
Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje. Who do you got?
It's hard to predict, brother. It's hard to predict. Let me ask you this. How close to the excitement of Tony versus Khabib does this fill in your heart? Is it good enough?
Anything right now fills my heart.
Right now. Yeah.
Anything fills it right now.
After about 2 months of no fights.
No sports.
Yeah, exactly. I like this for Justin Gaethje. I think he deserves this. It's weird for Tony Ferguson because he's already won the interim belt before.
Yeah, did you hear what he put out?
No.
Saying, forget Khabib's title. This is the real title now. Like,
I can understand that, but the whole Khabib thing was weird with the travel thing. I don't think it was his fault.
No. You can't blame him.
Yeah, it was unfortunate what happened.
The virus that hit.
For those of you that don't know, there's this thing called coronavirus that's out right now. It's fucking up the world, but that's why we didn't get Khabib versus Tony for the 5th time, unfortunately. 5 times.
The fight's cursed, man.
Fight's
cursed.
Yeah, I made a
100%.
comment that I said if they ever do this for a 6th time, they're gonna have to top the coronavirus, and I don't know what's gonna happen to cancel it for a 6th time. I don't even. At this point, fuck it, man. Like,
just don't do the fight.
Just don't even do the fight anymore. Kidding. I want to see that fight, but Justin versus Tony, and I agree with these odds. Vegas has Tony as the favorite. Is that?
Yeah. Tony has a favorite -173.
Okay, and Justin's the underdog at +143.
So not a big spread.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. Tony's on like a 12-fight win streak or something ridiculous like that. I think his
Justin is on a 3-fight win streak right now.
Something similar, yes. And it'll be interesting to see, man. Tony's jiu-jitsu is off the chain.
Cardio's off the chain.
His cardio is relentless.
But Justin can take hits.
Yeah, and Justin's got way bigger knockout power than Tony does.
He does.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one thing that's going to be interesting is, Tony has his elbows and his punches and his unorthodox fighting style, but Justin's going to be in his face. He has a habit of coming in and just throwing his hooks, and I think he's going to take the fight to Tony.
I can see Tony taking the fight to the ground though. Like, how's Justin's ground game?
So Justin was a pretty successful collegiate wrestler, but he doesn't use it in the UFC. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
He does not use it I don't think he's ever really used it besides scrambling to get back to his feet. So it'll be interesting to see if they do take it to the ground. Wrestling versus jiu-jitsu, it's kind of like the Khabib thing again. So that'll be interesting, but I'm hoping it stays on the feet the entire time.
It was a slugfest, man. Dude, that'd be great to top up that night.
On paper, Tony should probably win this fight, in my opinion.
Right.
12-fight win streak. It'll be the double interim champ, the second time he's won this.
Double interim become the one-time champ?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Or, would they ever strip Khabib of it?
No, they wouldn't.
Doubtful. It's interesting to see. But on paper, Tony's got this, in my opinion. His last couple fights, Anthony Pettis, stoppage. Donald Cerrone, stoppage. So
Donald blew his nose.
Yeah, he blew his nose. He fucked up, and yeah. But Tony fucks people up, man. I don't think he'll fuck up Justin as bad as he's fucked up some other people. But it'll be interesting to see. But Justin could shock the world, go in there, and knock Tony Ferguson out. He has the power to do it.
He does. Who do you got, though?
I'll give Tony Ferguson round 4.
Round 4 for Tony?
Yes. And the reason I say that is Justin came out and actually said in some form of interview, and I believe it could be because it's somewhat short notice for him, he said, I need to go and take him out within the first 10 to 12 minutes. If Tony can survive that onslaught in the first 10 to 12 minutes, those 4th and 5th rounds are going to be Tony's. His cardio never ends. Justin's got good cardio, but it's hard to compete.
I feel like Justin has good cardio for the first maybe 4 rounds.
That makes sense, yeah.
And then he just gasses out in the 5th round. But how many times have you seen Justin in the 5th round?
Not very often.
Not very often.
Yeah. So that's what's got me thinking Tony Ferguson 4th round. If Justin can knock him out in the first 2, that's impressive. That'll be a great end to this awesome fight card. But if not, it's definitely going to Tony Ferguson.
So you're calling Tony?
Tony Ferguson 4th round TKO.
Tony? I can see it going to decision, Tony.
Decision for Tony Ferguson? That's possible too.
I see decision, Tony.
You don't think Tony can finish him? No. He doesn't have the power strikes, I guess.
He's 35 years old, fighting a 27, 28-year-old.
Something like that. It'll be interesting to see.
I feel like Justin can take a punch from Tony.
Oh, 100%.
But I can see Tony outlasting Justin. Simple as that.
But we both got Tony winning the fight.
Yeah, we both got Tony winning the fight.
Interesting. So that brings in the double interim champ. He won it once, got stripped, and then now this is him winning it again. Who knows how much that means to him? He's still carrying the original one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So currently it's Ramadan, so Khabib's not training because he's fasting. Ramadan ends towards the end of May. Let's hope this coronavirus stuff ends. If you give him a 2-3 month fight camp, I guess we shoot for Tony versus Khabib in August, maybe?
September.
August or September.
Early September. Or late August.
Yeah. And I can wait that long.
We waited 5 years.
5, yeah, exactly. But then how much...
Or 5. It's more than 5 years.
Yeah, just 5 planned fights.
No, it's been 6 years. Because I think the first fight was scheduled at 14.
Was it?
I believe 14.
Holy shit. 14. I graduated high school in 2014.
So I believe it was 14, 15, 16, 17. Tony didn't fight the next 2 years. And this is the 5th one.
Now, that's crazy.
So 6 years.
But if Justin were to win, and then he gets to fight Khabib, how do you think that would play out?
Depends on how they want to play it, though. Conor still doesn't have dance partner right now.
Yeah.
I know they're talking about Conor and Jorge.
Conor and Jorge. If we're gonna get off track of UFC 249 for a second, if I could pay for one fight, just one fight,
One fight only.
it could be a shitty fight card under it. It could be Vanderlei Silva and Rampage Jackson where they get knocked out in the first 2 minutes, or Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell, all legends, but they're not going to put an exciting fight on. And if you top that motherfucker off with Jorge Masvidal and Conor McGregor, I'd pay $100 to watch that.
You pay $200.
I'd pay $200 to watch that. But it's interesting, man. Everything's in a weird place right now because of COVID. What's going to happen with Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal? You know,
what's going to happen with Conor?
Conor does he wait for Khabib?
I say no, dude. I feel like Dana might, if Justin wins this fight and Conor still doesn't have somebody to fight, because Conor said he wants to fight more than once a year.
He wanted to be active this year, yeah.
And he hasn't fought
besides
since the first January, right?
Yeah, against Cowboy.
Who he could have fought the next week.
He honestly could have. He was fine. His shoulder might have been a little bit bruised, but that's it.
So
yeah, he was fine. The weird thing is, so Conor is not in a position to jump in front of the winner of this fight.
He's not. But look how much revenue he's gonna bring in.
Yeah.
Just putting Conor on the main card for a title.
Yeah.
It's a sellout.
But the only way would be if for some reason whoever wins this fight is the interim champ, they got pulled. You know? If let's say hypothetically Justin wins this fight, he's now the interim champion. He has to fight Khabib in late August, September.
He doesn't have to. Like if they're gonna let's say Justin wins, right?
Yeah.
And Justin gets hurt. I can see them throwing Tony into there before they put Conor into Khabib.
Yeah, I think I would love to see Conor in one more fight before he goes against Khabib again.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
See, I feel like either Conor's gonna go up to 170
and fight Jorge,
or he's gonna fight. If Justin wins, he's gonna fight Justin.
Like that would be awesome to see. Conor wins the loser or fights the loser of this fight. I would love to see that. And if he wins that fight, that shoots him right up to the title shot.
That's not what the UFC usually does, though. UFC usually matches up winner against winner. If you if you follow it, and the loser versus loser.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
but it's the interim belt, so it's they have to fight the champ. So no injuries, nothing goes wrong. The winner of this fight isn't going to get pulled.
No.
So I'd love to see Conor in one more tune-up match. Let's say Tony Ferguson beats Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje versus Conor. If Conor wins that fight and Tony beats Khabib in August, put them up against each other.
In what, November? Or
probably
December?
Yeah, close to December, the end of the year. I'd love to see that. If he scraps all of that, goes up and fights Jorge Masvidal,
you can see Conor and Usman maybe.
oh man, I think that's a bad fight for Conor.
Oh, 100% is.
Usman's wrestling. Usman's so fucking strong at 170. We know Conor's wrestling is good. He showed pretty impressive takedown defense against Khabib. Khabib's always going to take you down eventually, but he did good. Usman, I think, would fuck Conor up. And this is random. It just popped into my head. Imagine Conor and Colby. He would fuck Colby Covington up, I think,
Dude,
right away. But
Kobe's a scrapper, though.
I know, but
he's a scrapper.
But Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman.
That was a great fight.
It was a great fight, but they're both wrestlers. So it's two wrestlers that are choosing to stand up for that fight. I don't want to discredit Colby's stand-up because he fucked up Robbie Lawler, he fucked up Rafael Dos Anjos. But in my opinion, if that fight, the stand-up fight, was against Jorge Masvidal, Jorge would beat either one of them. I think Jorge beats Colby on the feet. I think Jorge beats Kamaru Usman on the feet. And Conor's probably a better stand-up fighter than Jorge.
He is. I mean, you have his left hand.
Yeah.
One hit.
I love the aura and the resurrection of Jorge Masvidal. Some people think it's overhyped. Because he came off a loss to Stephen Thompson, and then after that, he knocked the fuck out of Darren Till. And I was a huge Darren Till fan. I love Darren Till. He knocked the fuck out of him. did the flying knee in 5 seconds against Ben Askren.
He beat Coward before that.
He did, yeah.
Then he had the flying knee against Ben. Then he jumped in and fought
Nate Diaz, and that was a good fight too. And I mean, I think he was beating the shit out of Nate for those 3 rounds. But it's just something about it. I think, the hype. I love Jorge, but the hype could be pushing him a little bit too far. I do think he beats Kamaru or Colby, but against a striker like Conor, that'll be an interesting fight.
It'll be a great fight.
Yeah, I would love to see that fight though.
But yeah, so 249.
UFC 249 this Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
It's gonna be a hype fight card. Yeah, I mean this is take one.
Take one.
Our first podcast, guys. Subscribe to the video if you enjoyed what you see. Leave us a comment with your prediction on any of these fights and who you think's gonna win. And we will see you Saturday.
All right.